I went by your house, what a big mistake. But for a while I thought that I wouldn't break. I need something else to clear my head. Someone to tell me how to live instead. Just open your eyes and take my advice. Stop rolling the dice and just compromise. It's the chance of your life. Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of your own life. Right now, every mistake makes you feel like a fake. Take control of your own life. Without any thought, I keep moving on. I don't even care if my soul is gone. So many words that I should have said. Not concerned about how to live instead. Just open your eyes and take my advice. Stop rolling the dice and just compromise. It's the chance of your life. Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of your own life. Right now, every mistake makes you feel like a fake. Take control of your own life. Nothing in life is good. Tired and misunderstood. I would fight if I could. If I believed I should. Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of your own life. Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of your own life. Right now, every mistake makes you feel like a fake. Take control of your own life.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How's everybody today? So, no camera today. I had a little thing happen in the middle of the night. Just let me tell it because it's what's on my mind. So, I was asleep and Rosie, my little Rosie, I like spoon her when it's cold. She likes to get right in my, stomach area, whatever. And I was asleep, and I just woke up to her screaming and then, felt where she peed. And so I don't know if she had like a seizure or something. And so, I got up real quick and stripped the bed and everything. And then she's fine this morning. So I don't know. I'm like, I didn't sleep very well, I guess is my point, because I kept worrying about it and waking up and thinking about it and wondering if she's okay. So they're watching me from my love seat over there in the other room, and I hope that everybody's good. And that was my weirdness for the night. But let me say hi. Hey, Betty Dan Boop, Amber. I see you're still sick. I'm sorry about that. Get some rest, girl. Shalima, good to see you. Yeah, so Amber's still hanging on. Well, maybe with the kids back in school, you can rest a lot, because rest really, drink a lot of fluids and get your rest and eat healthy food. That'll help you along. Hey, Angela, you mean you're at work? Somebody's at work? Oh my gosh. Hey, Tara with Trisha, how are you today? You doing all right? Is there any gossip, y'all? Oh, is there anything over the weekend weird that happened that you want me to talk about? Because we do have a couple of things to talk about today. They are One is weird, and the other one is just some informative for y'all. And we're going to talk about that. Hey, Whisperer, Sandra Louise, good to see you. Welcome to those hopping in. Yeah, please do hit that thumbs up if you're watching the replay. Also, give me a little thumbs up, please. If you are dissatisfied with the content, you can always go back and thumbs it down or something like that. But yeah, go ahead and do it now while you're thinking about it. That would really help me a lot. Yeah, I know. It was a scary, 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 scary thing. She's trying to come in here. Maybe I'll just get her on my lap. Hey, Replay Rants. Good to see you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at today is just crazy. This is, and some of you might have seen it. It's a TikToker. I'm not going to show her video, but I've got some pictures that we can look at. And so just imagine that you are going out with a woman. I mean, just put yourself in, just say that you're a man and you've made a date, or just flip it around, but just, okay, so you make a date and let's get that up there. You make a date, and I think, you pretty much talked about that you were just going to, have drinks. It didn't include dinner or anything like that. And all of a sudden your date orders 48 oysters. Like, nobody eats 48 oysters. That's ridiculous. And then she proceeded to like slurp them down. If you haven't ever eaten oysters on the half shell, you know that it's a messy process and it's kind of gross, and that's not a food that I enjoy. So I've had one, but it's not something that I do. But nonetheless, so you're on a date with her, and she starts slurping back. Hey, you had Trisha, and she starts just slurping these back. This was in Atlanta. She and her date had been texting for weeks before she agreed to go to dinner. He went to the bathroom and didn't return. And, so this, any kind of thing, controversial thing on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or anywhere is going to get, people are always interject. So it went viral. Imagine going viral for something nasty. That would just, her name is Equana B on TikTok. And then she met up with him. And why would you do that? And that is not her. She was angered when she learned that he had left the restaurant in this apparent disgust. So while Aquana B was horrified by her date's behavior, those watching her video on TikTok were quick to accuse her of being in the wrong. And one guy said, I don't know what's worse, the 48 oysters as an appetizer or the insane slurping and smacking. You see how, the things are they're slimy. And you pour them down your throat. 48. And that's her. She got some heels and some gold. She's all golded out. And look at this mess. And to order them all at one time, it's not like she ordered some and then got, ordered a dozen and most people get like a half dozen or a dozen. But no, she got all of them. If I was in that restaurant, I would have had my phone out videoing her, because that's just ridiculous. They met and they'd been texting, and she said, I was bored and I had time. So he texted me like, can we meet for drinks? The woman first asked herself why she didn't block her soon-to-be date, and then proceeded to walk into the restaurant. And then she says they got the best effing oysters in Atlanta. And then the majority of the video shows her slurping and adding lemon and Tabasco. You did? I don't see. That's why I don't even want to listen. Yeah, I can eat a cooked. But raw oysters, that's not my gig. When she finished them, she ordered some crab cakes and red skin potatoes. My God, woman. It's been 10, 20, 30 minutes. Had to end up grabbing the tab, left left me with this one effing drink. So the date leaves her to pay for his drink too, I guess. The man did end up texting her, "I offered to take you out for drinks and you ordered all that food. I can cash app the total for the drinks." Oh, lordy. Where did she even put all that? I mean, she's not, you know, that big of a girl. Yeah, leave her to pay. That's just crazy. But, I mean, life is full of crazy online dating. If you look around, you can see all kinds of things. Running out on the tab is crazy. This is what some of the people said. "I offered to take you out for drinks and you ordered all that food. I can cash app the total for the drinks." Here they are. Here's the price, $22 a dozen. Yeah, I'd leave too. I'd be like, mm-mm, nope. And here's how I always do on dates. I mean, it's been a while since I had a date, but when I dated and somebody else was paying for it, I always like I'd even going out for dinner with, bosses that took us out. They take the whole office out sometimes for Christmas, or we had like 7 people that worked there. I never order expensive. I always would choose like a middle range something. I mean, I'm just not the type of person to just go out with somebody and expect them to pay for some extravagant thing. But that's just me. I'm considerate and wouldn't want that done to me. But $22 per. So that was 88 dollars. I can't even do math right now. $88 before tax and tip for her to have oysters. $88. And he asked her out for drinks. When you say we're going out for drinks, you mean drinks. Yeah, Dutch is the best way. That's true. Hey, Craftastic, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Yeah, Dutch, go Dutch on dates. That's true. That's the best way. I mean, that looks good right there. I mean, it's freezing cold. I'm cold. It got down in the 50s and I had windows all open and I just now shut them. I'm freezing over here in Arkansas. You get the specials. Yeah, replay. I mean, I'm saying, like, if somebody else is buying, I'm always considerate enough to know, yeah, that I want that ribeye there. I mean, I love ribeye. The ribeye's 30 something. I don't even know. It's been so long. I know their food prices have gone way up. But even when I buy food at the store, like, I might want that package of ribeyes, but no, I'm not going to spend that much money. I can eat something less expensive because I'm not made of money, right? Um, and then I bet, like, I don't know. I don't, when you have long nails like that, I don't know how you keep your nails clean. You get 2 steaks for like $12. Well, sometimes replay, I do buy steak when I go and they've marked them down to must use today, and I know that I can cook it that day, or must use or freeze by today, today's date. And when they're marked down, but that's not even like that marked down. They're still, it's just gotten really expensive. But I mean, this is making me hungry and I don't even eat raw oysters. Shani said 48 oysters for yourself is insane. Yeah, I bet. I guess, but it could have all been a big hoax to make a TikTok video. People nowadays, they do crazy things. And on a side note, Suzanne Summers, very sad about her passing. I literally was so weird. I literally gasped yesterday morning when I saw that. I saw her picture and then I read the headline and I literally went, and I don't ever do that. I don't know what it was. I mean, I'm not like her biggest fan or anything. I like her a lot. I mean, I liked her a lot. I just, for some reason, when I read that, it just made me gasp. Oh, you get 2 for 12 at a restaurant? Wow. Yeah, that was really sad. And then I saw this morning this video that she made with her husband, and it says moments before her death. Do y'all know anything about that? I'm like, did they mean hour? It says moments. and he was giving her early birthday present, and I'm just like, "Wow, how did that happen?" Replay, you can't get in the United States, you can't get a drink for under $10. I mean, a beer maybe, but, like a mixed drink now, they're like $10. So, for to be able to get all that food, that's really great. Yeah, that's a great price. It is so sad. She was seemed like a very nice lady and had been married forever to the same man, which is so unusual for Hollywood actors and actresses. Margarita is daisy in Spanish. Wow. Can I have a daisy, please? Hey, no more. Betty, it's the local pub. Oh, I'd eat there every day then. I probably would. Anyway, so then she got, I guess she ate the potatoes last. Those look good too. The restaurant manager told Rolling Stone she was not surprised. This is nothing new for us. It was just quite funny. Well, that's what I'm thinking. The whole thing was a setup to be on to make a viral TikTok video. Don't you think all of us who make TikTok shorts or, YouTube shorts like I do, I'm always thinking about making a video. In fact, I'm thinking about going out on the I got an idea to go do one today out at the at an intersection. But see, if I put my face in one, if I'm in a short, they don't get any views. Nobody wants to look at me. So I don't know. My voiceover ones do okay, but nobody wants to click on it when it's got my face. And that's okay. People don't have to like how I look. I have had two ladies order 6 dozen oysters each. That's not even the cherry on top. They were drinking White Russians. Have you ever had a White Russian? Okay. White Russian is like sweet, 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 so full of sugar. It's like eating ice cream. It's so sweet with a kick, right? And how could you eat oysters and drink White Russians? I mean, I hope that because I've had White Russians as desserts before. That's going to be my dessert, right? Oh, wow. Uh, 2 times a month. Sorry, I'm late, no more says, but I'm early morning appointment. Oh, well, we just started and yeah, so you can watch the beginning. Yes, a White Russian's like drinking well, it's just so sweet and they make a good dessert drink if you're drinking. It's not a drink that you'd want to get wasted on, and you certainly, to me, does not go with oysters on the half shell with hot sauce and lemon. I mean, ugh, no. But anyway, I mean, I read that a few days ago, and I was just like, what? 48 oysters to yourself is insane. Another person said, I'm here hollering because you was slurping up them oysters and that man was plotting his escape. He was like, I have got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then he runs out the door and goes to his car and says, I'm not running on the tab. She's paying the tab. On X, one user said, find him so we can hear his side. The woman posted another TikTok video after going viral in a response to a comment made about her $11 restaurant tip. She left an $11 restaurant tip. The oysters alone, without tax or anything, it was $88, and she leaves an $11 tax. Oh, she didn't have enough money on her card. The woman also admitted that she ended up paying for his drink. Oh, too bad. Oh, so sad. Lady, that was ridiculous. Don't do that again. Have y'all ever had what's the worst date you've ever had? I have had a few bad dates. I wouldn't drink that and eat a meal. Oh, that's Rosie running on screen there. I always forget to stop that. You don't do cocktails? That's it? Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And to only leave a little tip. Oh, I didn't have any money left in my account. Well, maybe that server didn't have any money left in their account either, but you shouldn't spend all your money on oysters. I bet her tummy was full. You didn't really have any bad dates? Well, I only had a few. I had one. The guy, I've mentioned that on here before. He smelled really bad, but he was clean. He looked clean. I think he just had that, that body odor that there's not anything you can do with it. I don't know. For USA people, you don't have to leave a tip, but if you don't, like one time I was in a restaurant and we got terrible service. It was a Chinese food restaurant and my friend and I left pennies. Now this was like in the let's see, 80s, 1980s, and we left the guy pennies and he was running out of this came running out of the restaurant. I mean, we paid our tab, right? We paid for our food, but I can't remember now the details of why we left him pennies because we both had money to tip, but he was rude, I guess. We didn't just do that. And he came running out there. But no, you don't have to leave a tip. But in the US right now, they want you to tip on a drive-through. You get something at the drive-through, they want a tip for that. They want a tip if you buy anything, not even just food. Everybody wants a tip now, and it's been talked about. I mean, if you look around, I mean, people are always talking about, why do I have to tip? They want me to tip at the grocery store. They want me to tip on my electricity bill. They want me to tip on my property tax bill for the animal control, which I think I did this year. I think it was $10, and I was like, yeah, we need money to go to animal control because that's, they rescue animals off the streets and they also get dangerous animals. And so, that's important, but that's not just a tip going to whoever. But yeah, I think they want you to tip if you go to a drive-through McDonald's now, which is crazy. And I have been a server, so very briefly a long time ago, but it's like if you work the lunch shift and people aren't drinking, and they tip 1%, you're not going to get as much money because the whole bill, lunch menus less expensive. People tend to buy a sandwich or something depending on where you work, and you just don't make any money. Toxicity's in the house. How you doing today? Oh, you don't even get asked? Yeah, no more white oysters. I mean, white Russians with oysters is a no-no. Hey, Ginger, good to see you too. You're fine. I was just thinking I need to start drinking coffee because it's freezing cold and I couldn't get going this morning because I had my heating pad on my back and then I had a little throw on me and I had two dogs snuggling up and the window was open like 5 feet away. And I'm like, you might help if you shut the window. So I just got in the shower and ran a hot shower for a while. I'm a great tipper too. But no, I'm not going to tip somebody. I mean, if I get bad service, I will tip like 10%. If I get decent service, 20, and just depends on up. Hey, Extinct Tube. Yes, entitled. That's exactly right. Entitled. That's what it is. And it kills me when people say they don't have money for something, but they buy coffee. They go and spend, how much is a coffee now? Like, I know Starbucks is, you get the fancy coffee, but how much does it cost just to get a cup of coffee? And if you're able to go buy cups of coffee every day instead of just making your own coffee, then why do you need money for something else? I mean, because I'm always looking at how can I save money? Eating out is going to cost thousands of dollars more a year than eating at home and cooking it myself. Yeah, Mama was on fire last night, and Trish, I haven't even been going in chats because I'm trying to stay out of drama because, I get people, well, you're in the drama. And really, if you're not wanting to be in drama, you shouldn't be in drama at all. And I just dropped in there last night, but it was just like, you were on fire, on fire. We went to the local pizza place. They wouldn't let my husband tip. Well, and I've been watching that show on Netflix about Uber. And how Uber got started. And I worked for Uber. I drove for Uber It was fairly new. It was new in my state when I did it, so that's how long ago it was. And there were, they were having these big arguments because Lyft came along and Lyft allowed tips and Uber required no tips. There was no way for them people to tip, and we weren't supposed to. It's supposed to be a cashless thing, and so people don't really carry cash, and people don't tip, and that was a big problem for Uber back when they started. I don't know if they do it now, or I haven't watched. I mean, I haven't been in an Uber in forever. Yes, they do. In drive-throughs, they want a tip. When they are paid high salaries. Yeah, well, now people who wait tables do not get paid. They make like $2.13 an hour, or maybe it's gone up, and then they get tips. And some places I've heard if the tip's over minimum wage, it pulls them over minimum wage. The restaurant doesn't have to pay. When you wait tables in the United States, most places, not always, are, most of your income's from tips. Not in the UK. See, we're all different. Yeah, Rosie, she's gonna hopefully she's okay. That was the weirdest thing last night. Maybe I hurt her. Maybe I was, maybe I did something in my sleep to her. I don't know. I had weird dreams last night too. Amber said he bought some cookies the owner's mom made. She was who waited on us and told my husband, "No, you don't have to tip since you got some of my cookies." Aw. Yes, it's gotten to be a thing over here, right? Toxicity. They want a tip. And the way they're doing it is because most people don't carry cash anymore. We use our debit cards or a PayPal card or whatever. You don't. There's just not a lot of cash exchange anymore. And so it's right there. And when I get my hair cut and I put my card in, it says, "Do you want to tip 10% or 15%?" And my stylist has been saying, just skip that because, well, there's reasons why he does that. And, it's very expensive when you're paying a lot for a haircut and then you got to add a tip on. And if he says don't do it, I skip it because, I mean, and another thing, and that's a thing in the United States, I don't know about y'all, but over here, if you're female, your clothes cost more than this, the same kind of item in the men's, and children's are even less expensive. Yeah, less material, but really, I mean, it's not all just that. And also, the same person who cuts my hair has appointments for men. And so, wearing my hair short like I do, it's like I asked him one day, "What's the difference in a male haircut and a female?" Because I'm thinking, well, I could save like $25 if I just say that I'm a male. Not that I'm saying that I'm, don't know my gender or anything like that, but to save money. And he explained it. It takes less time and blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but it takes you 20 minutes for mine. So why do I have to pay for an hour? I'm not trying to get a discount. I just wanted to know. Yeah, they want you to leave a tip. Hey, Brittany, how are you doing? Good to see you. Tara with Trisha. This is Extinct Tube says, I can never thank you enough for last. Yeah, that was wild last night. If I'm dining out, I tip. Good, Betty Dan Boop. $1.85 to $2 for a cup of coffee? That's not too bad. Gas station coffee is really the cheapest. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. They are entitled to kiss my tushy. How's everyone? Hey, y'all, please hit the like button. So good to see so many of y'all coming in today. Yeah, Ginger, you do. You need to watch it. And then I went right to bed. Hey, Brandy, good to see you. Minimum wage was $3. I think waitresses make like $2.13. I was a waitress and people can be, yes, especially the after church crowd on Sunday. They're the worst. I went to Subway the other day and asked for a tip. Oh yeah, they always want a tip. Everybody wants a tip. Toxicity says her husband was a bartender, waiter. Yeah, it's just rude, and in this day and age, yes, the old people, because I went to lunch with my mother a few years back. This particular time, she had a coupon, and it was the lunch thing, and so, you know, and if you tip on the lower amount, the waitress is doing the same amount of work whether you ordered got a $5 discount or spent $300. You should still tip them enough to make it worth their time. What makes me mad? A kid's name track suit is nearly the same. Yes, the clothes and shoes and everything, they're less expensive for the little ones, or even teens. As everyone's asking for tips. Yeah, they do ask for money at the Walmart where I buy groceries. They're asking for money for some cause, and I'm like, "No. Can I just," and then now you have to ask it for your receipt, and I'm like, I'm standing there waiting on my receipt, and then I remember, "Oh, I gotta push print." I'm not leaving that store without my receipt, even though at this, it's just a grocery store where I go. I'm not leaving there a Walmart without my receipt and then get accused of stealing something. So I'm always like, "Mm-mm, give me that." It's 10. I don't know what our minimum wage is. 20%. That's good. Listening, lads, while eating. What are you eating there? All right. Now, this other story that we're going to talk about is what did I do with that? I mean, I still have it, but I guess I forgot to pull it up. Okay. I had it pulled up. Okay, here's what we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at somebody's Twitter today. And no, we're not looking at any pasta Twitter. We're not looking up the pasta Twitter. Honestly, going back to last night's video, I don't watch that person, so I was just in there having a good time because I just can't watch her. But I think she's ridiculous, the things that she does, and it's just crazy. And then one day somebody compared me to her, and I'm like, where is there any comparison between us? I don't wear cat ears or talk about money and all that shit. I mean, yeah, they want that tip. You got to pay up. Hey, Salmonella. No tip unless you carry the groceries to the car. I remember the day when you went to the grocery store and you pull up. I mean, you pull your cart up, and the the checker takes from your cart, and they keep it up. They do all the work. Then there's a bagger at the end of the thing, and then when he gets through bagging, and it was all guys back then. I mean, we're talking this. I'm remembering from the 70s. And then they carry everything out to your car and take the cart back in. Now, you're lucky if you can find someone in the store to help you. And over at the checkout, it's it's wardened off where once you go in the checkout, you're in the checkout, and they've got all these people that work there standing there watching you, making sure you're not stealing instead of checking you out. It's just crazy. And it's just changed because Salmonella and I are old enough to remember when you just didn't go to the store that they didn't carry your groceries out. I mean, that was just part of it. Just like they pumped your gas when you wanted gas. Not the same people, right? Not the grocery checker, but when you pulled up to get gas, you didn't have to get out and pump your own gas. They did it. Now you're like, I don't know, in my state, I don't even know if there's any places left that will pump your gas. You know what I mean? Yes, they did Toxicity. I don't watch her either, but one day somebody was talking about her and saying I wasn't anything, that I wasn't really like her. And I'm like, what the F? I guess age wise or something. She looks like she's 90 and I look like I'm 40 and like I'm older than her. So, we're nothing alike. Publix does. I don't mean we don't even have Publix here. Her new name is Sweetheart. Yes, please do that. Like button would really help me out a lot if you did that. Now, we are going to talk about a I said weird, and it's weird news because the part of it that's weird to me is how people just disintegrate in comment sections on in the news. News, Twitter, wherever. Uh the weirdest and worst servers are the ones who stand over you. Yes. Yeah, pay up. I'm the fountain of youth. Yeah, but then you have my mom who never learned how to pump gas when they would do it for you at the gas stations. Oh, wow. She still doesn't know how to do it. Hey, Brandy, are you doing well? Ginger, they have no clue about personal space. Right. Okay, so here's what happened. Now, let me preface this by saying that for several years, I covered distracted driving stories for a newspaper I wrote for, and also did a cover story for another publication that's local to where I lived. And I'm a big proponent of not texting while driving, although I will admit that I have on occasion picked up my phone and looked at my phone at stoplights and everything. However, it is not, there is a danger in that. In most states, you are not supposed to be on your phone, because whether you're sitting at a stoplight or driving down the road, you're distracted. And when the light turns, you need to be ready to go. Hey, hippie chick. So this woman goes on Twitter and she says, feeling exceptionally blessed to be alive and safe today. Around 7 a.m. this morning, I was on my way to band practice at church where I sing. I was stopped at a red light and texted RJ, our worship pastor. On my way, I didn't see the light turn green immediately and pushed on the gas a split second later than I normally would have. Just then, just in a car coming the other way, blew through the red light going about 50 miles per hour. If I'd gone right when the light turned green, I'd probably be dead right now. Normally, when the light turns green, I look both ways anyway, because I know people run red lights. But at this particular intersection, I couldn't see. God is good. Okay, we're not going to get into this discussion about this is not about religion, but she's saying that because she didn't see the stoplight. I mean, because she was, wasn't watching. Basically, she was in a car with the car running. And as soon as she saw it was green, she hit the gas. Well, first of all, when you're sitting at a red light, you need to be paying attention to what's going on around you. And what if so she's saying that because she hesitated because she was distracted, that God saved her life, that saved her life. Well, what about if because you were distracted 5 miles down the road, the person behind you maybe they got T-boned because you hesitated at that light. You can't make these generalizations like, oh, that's what I say. Because if one thing, it's just nature. We don't have any control over. Here's how you avoid getting T-boned at a stoplight. You look both ways before you go. Light turns green, people always are speeding through there. Well, you just take a break. Like, hello, look both ways. Texting at a stoplight is dangerous, and I looked it up after I read this, and there are laws. It's by state. There are different laws for it. So we might get to that, the law part of it. But I want to go through what, excuse me, yeah, then, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. And if you're giving, God is good. Okay. I'm not saying God's not good, but some people in these comments have some things to say, and we're going to look at that. This was just posted yesterday, about 1 o'clock. Jennifer Greenberg, she comes back and says, people are actually trolling me because I took 1.5 seconds to text. Oh my word, she says, while stopped and didn't die. No, you literally broke the law and said that God is good and that you didn't get killed. You said you almost literally would have gotten killed. Obviously, I should have been hit by the car, she says. I'm a terrible person and deserve a ticket for not dying. No, Jennifer Greenberg, you deserve a ticket if they see you. If they see you. That's what you deserve a ticket for. Then she says, one time I put lipstick on at a red light. That time too, I didn't die. I also drank coffee at a red light. You know what happened? I didn't die. It was remarkable. In fact, I have never had a ticket or been in an accident in my entire life. Never been pulled over once. Well, listen, Jennifer, that doesn't mean it wouldn't happen to you the next time or that somebody behind you didn't end up dying because you paused at the light. You're not God, and you're still breaking the law. And distracted driving isn't just with phones. Distracted driving is putting on lipstick. Have you ever seen somebody driving down the road reading the newspaper? I have. Have you ever seen somebody driving down the road? I mean, nobody has newspapers much anymore, but it happens. Putting on their whole full makeup faces all the time. Just 1 second. All right. Now, here's what some people said. Oh, wait. We got to go here. Okay, this Matt guy says that's not Matt. People are getting ridiculous at running red lights. I think it's worse than it was even 5 or 6 years ago. I was on a feeder road going about 55 just last week, hit my brakes on a yellow, nothing wild, and 2 cars right behind me changed lanes and gunned it through the red. Yes, I see people, and I'm not even out on the road that much, but people will run red lights. You cannot go when you see it turn green. You have to pause and look. You saw a man eating cereal while driving? Wow. Reading a book. I shit you not. Driving down the freeway. Wow. And also, if you hit your brakes hard at a light when it's turning yellow, because it doesn't matter if it's yellow and you are, remember when Brian Koberger, the video of him getting pulled over and he was out into, because I've always driven like that, where if it's a busy intersection and you can pull up, so you're in the intersection, so you have to go when it turns green or even if it turns red, you have to go because you're in the intersection. Well, he got a ticket for that. Well, he didn't. They didn't ticket him for that. But that was the conversation. Hey, Pocket Sand. And so it's just crazy. Jennifer goes on, that's crazy. Right. Yeah. There's a intersection near my kids' school where I literally wait for people in the oncoming turning lane to turn on the red light because they do it so frequently. It's very annoying. And in a school zone, I don't understand why it's gotten like this. Well, Jennifer, you were, school zone or no, if you're sitting at an intersection and you're on your phone and you're saying, well, I've never even got a ticket. Well, you could get a ticket for that. Just be glad there wasn't a cop next to you because you can, I don't know, maybe your state's different. I don't know where you live, but shout out to you. Our service is at 8:45. I get grumpy having be there at 8. 7 is that's just dumb. Very early service. Here we go. We got to open more. Rose says Houston is horrible for this. Glad you're okay. And then Jennifer says, yeah, thanks. It wasn't even close. The light had to have been red for at least a few seconds when he raced through it. Crazy. Well, maybe had you not been texting, maybe you would have got hit. Who knows? You can't. Hey, Kiki's Eyes, you can't make any kind of determination. I mean, in life, what was that movie that, was it called Sideways or something, where I know one of y'all knows what I'm talking about, where they show if you would have gone down this path, this is how, like, not necessarily this street, but like this path in life, like how, and I think about that sometimes. How would my life have been different had I not taken that job or had not messed up, and how about if I'd finished school the first time I went to college, things like that. Um, but it's so much is just left up to little minute decisions that we make all through the day, all through our lives. And we don't know what would have happened. Let's see. Steering with their knees and applying makeup. Yes. Pockets your partner in crime. Here, Helen says, you were texting while driving? That is extremely dangerous and irresponsible. Glad you didn't get hurt, but please be more aware of your surroundings in the future. Here in the UK, you'd be fined heavily. Yep. Here in the US, you would too. And then she says, as I said, I was stopped at a red light. I was not driving. Well, she gets mad about it. Blessings indeed. Here's what Andra says. Blessings indeed. Something similar happened to me once. It was during winter and the streets were slick with snow and ice. The light turned green and a little voice said, don't move. Not 2 seconds later, a dump truck, obviously unable to stop, slid through the intersection. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you're out there driving on snow and ice. Of course, you're going to have to hesitate. This guy says, a few times I've traveled to Houston, I couldn't believe that people blaze through intersections 7 on red. So glad you're saying. The other day, I saw 2 people literally go through a red light long after I had stopped in the other lane. I mean, the light was red when they got to the intersection, not yellow. Yes, there's no excuse to have a phone in your hand. The worst accident you ever saw was someone was applying makeup. Wow. Damn near killed me. Yeah, I don't have Bluetooth or any of that, but I don't. There was a thing several years back now, I guess, when Oprah Winfrey did that. You pledged to not text and drive, and I did that at the time. But since then, I catch myself. Really, the safest thing you could do to not get distracted and have your phone in case it rings or you get a notification is put it on do not disturb. Put it in your glove box. Put it where you won't know that anything's coming in, or put it in your back seat where you can't get to it. I mean, that's one thing. My brother was killed because somebody was messing with her radio and wasn't. Yes, I'm so sorry, Kiki's Eyes. There's a woman who I used to really. I mean, we talked, and I used her as a source for a lot of stories I did. And her deal is her mother died in a car wreck. The person was distracted driving. Now, this was back, in the last decade, in the 2010s, I guess. And we all started getting phones and all that, at some point. It was a newer thing back then that people had a phone. And this was and she goes around to different legislatures and talks with, and presents distracted driving because it's not a federal law. Driving regulations are per state, or they're by each state. And so she goes around and tries to get these distracted driving laws put on the books into law in different states. She helps legislators get that passed through. Ginger, laugh out loud. Oh, you know it. Get too far. Yeah, too far redheads. 30 years ago, and you're grateful. Yes, Betty Damn Boot. You put them on drive mode. Yeah, that'll work. Pocket Sand's never been in a wreck. Knock on wood. I have been. I feel the pain from it every single damn day in my neck. I'm sorry, Kiki's Eyes. That's terrible. There's always been distracted driving. It's just that more cars on the road. And even it's not even a speed limit, because when I was a kid, I mean, the speed limits were higher than they were are now in a lot of places. I mean, we could drive fast. Yeah, I'm sorry. And let's see. The turquoise temptress said, I've had that happen more than once. God is so good. Praise God. Amen said. Now, the reason that I even am reading those is because people are going to come on here in a little bit and they're going to be saying meaner things. Lindsay says people were trolling. And she's getting mad because people stop 2.5 seconds to send a text. Jesus Christ. They got to fight about it. Now, I was driving Uber one day and I stopped, I was stopped at a red light and I paused because this car came flying through there. And I mean, I stopped into the intersection because this car came flying through there, like way past the red light. And not long after that's when I quit driving for Uber, because one of the reasons is Uber didn't have me insured and I had not gone and up to my insurance. So I was like, I'm not even, I'm thinking I'm not even going to be covered if something happens to this person, because Uber wasn't covering that. You had to have your own insurance and they just didn't have anything to do with it. But what I ended up actually quitting for not too long after that was when a stupid guy exposed himself to me and asked me if I would, do something to him. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my car. And then I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Oh, that's so sad. Kiki's, that's really sad. I'm sorry. This one says, I once was saved from getting T-boned when I was mom armed by the car in the turning lane. I didn't see the car speeding through the intersection, but I did see a woman frantically put her arm out to stop me. We all know what the arm across the seat is, right? The mom arm. Like you reach over, your arm just automatically goes over into that passenger seat to try to protect whoever's in there, whether there's person there or not. Oh yeah, that's true. Show me some love. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you. Let's see. Peggy Sue says, I was driving 65 miles per hour down a highway when I heard stop and stood on my brakes just in time to watch a car blast through a stop sign across the highway a few feet away. Yeah, everybody's got a story about, how they were almost in a wreck. And where are those mean ones? And do you think, does anybody think that, well, I'm just going to wait till we get there. Hold on, I'm still, just a second. So you're saying that texting at red lights saves lives. God bless. Glad you are well. What just happened? So people started getting ugly here. I'm trying to find the ugly comments. We're almost there. So Brian says, so you are saying that texting at red lights saves lives. Glad you are well. And then Sarah's saying, wait 1 or 2 seconds. If you pause at when the light turns green and you don't immediately go, the people behind you will start honking their horns. And see, that's the thing. They're going to start honking their horns because you're distracted. You're going to just push the gas. So it's just not good to be on your phone in your car. Oliver said, oh, wait. People coming in here preaching. I don't have anything against people giving glory to God or any of that. I don't. But I'm trying to find that. Anyway, so people started coming in talking about how oh, here Stefan says, "Stop texting when driving." My God. And then, "Glad you're safe, glad you're okay." These are probably people who know her, follow her. "Our Lord is mighty, praise God." He also kept you from getting a ticket. 3-second rule, learn it. Glad you're okay. Maybe she deleted all the comments that talk about texting while driving saved your life, Kelsey says. See? I mean, it's just you can't put something on that. I mean, maybe if I brush my teeth 2 seconds less this morning, I might not be here with y'all today because I might have gone back to bed. Okay, Betty Dan Boop, thanks for being here. Texting and driving is the number one issue these days. Somebody said, well, I don't know if it's the number one issue, but it is an important issue to discuss and to follow. Don't do it. But God's not always going to save you, because let me just say, I'm not finding those tweets that I saw, but she says that God, she thanks God for saving her life. Oh, and here she goes. Would God get the credit if your car had hit you, or would the blame go to the other driver? I didn't know buses didn't even have seat belts, Ginger. Wow, we need seat belts on buses. I noticed the other day I was somewhere and there's a railroad track. I've never seen a train on it, but there are flashing lights at this location. I've just never been through there at the time of day. I guess when it's a very busy street and the school buses stop, even though the lights aren't flashing. I watched 2 of them do that, stop and pause and then go. And then, so here's one of the negative things, and this is kind of where we were getting to. Where is God in the Middle East? Why is God always so concerned with one random person in the US, but not the millions of people suffering in deprived communities elsewhere in the world? Now, see, that's why it's just so insane when people goes, well, I was texting and it's not, so what? But God saved my life. But you can't we can't understand God, because why is there this war and these children and all these people who are getting KILLED? It's not, it's weird. And so that's one of the things that's come up. And then Pardon Me says, most of us have done worse. My only criticism is that you don't think it's illegal. It is. Google your state laws. So I want everybody, if you have a chance today, to please just Google your state laws. Because if you're someone who, even if you're talking on your phone, there are a lot of places where you can't be using a handheld device, even if you're just talking on your phone. God is happy when people use him. Why does God always get credit for everything good happens? But yeah, that's what I'm saying, Pocket Sand. That's what these people are saying, and that's what I was thinking when I read it, because it just bugs me when people do that, because it's saying that you got blessed and somebody else didn't. And was she worthy to get blessed that day because she happened to be going to church, and these other people are living in a country where they're at war? The gist of it is, let's just look at the other, because let's just look at the law on it. I'm not look at these anymore, because I'm going to get off onto a lot of religious, or not religion, but theory and stuff. No, it's not safe to text at a red light. Texting, calling, or scrolling through social media while stopped are still forms of distracted driving. Distracted driving is a leading cause of serious and even fatal car accidents in the US. Just think about this. If just always remember this. It's all you got to think about. Hey, Mark Klein, if you are distracted while you're driving, if you're texting and you happen to hit another person, let's just hope that you don't hurt them, because that trajectory in their life could change their life dramatically. And like God picks favorites, right? Ginger says God can't control the free will of people and their poor choices. He gave us all the gift of free will. It's up to us to make the right decisions. Yes. Thank God you made it, Mark. Mark, if you would have just not brushed your teeth so long, you could have been here on time. Mark's working on biscuits and gravy. Oh, that sounds good. Research shows that the brain remains distracted. This is the important part right here. What people think, well, I'm just at a red light, I'm stopped. Research shows, they've actually done research, that the brain remains distracted even after you put the phone down and start driving. You need your brain at full capacity to drive safely. That's why you shouldn't drive when you have used any kind of, alcohol or marijuana or prescription medications that alter your, the use of all your facilities. Having a dog loosed in your car can be distracting and cause you to wreck. You could still cause a crash while texting at a red light. Normally, people watch for green light to move forward. However, if you're texting, you might rely more on your peripheral vision, and you might see the car in the lane next to you start to move, and then you just hit go because you think the lights turn green, and maybe they just moved up a little bit. Have you ever done that? Have you ever been kind of not paying attention, and you, out of the corner of your eye, your peripheral vision, you saw another car move and you start to go, and then you're like, oh shit. Maybe the car in front of you didn't go yet, There's so many ways that could be detrimental. 48 states, as well as Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, and the Virgin Islands have passed laws making it illegal to text while driving. Texting at any point in your driving journey is not safe. You risk not only an accident, but a traffic violation. And what if somebody's coming through the crosswalk and you think it's time to go, or you were distracted? You're distracted. Your mind's pulled away from driving. Yes. Right, Ginger. That's exactly right. You've got it. This is from an attorney, what I'm going to show you next. Forgot what state it is. I'll have to see when I pull it up. He's in. I forgot what state. It'll show me in a minute, though. Okay, here we go. Does texting at a red light count? And he's talking about, most states have hands-free laws prohibiting drivers from texting behind the wheel, and with good reason. It's highly distracting, makes it difficult to keep track of what's happening around you, and substantially increases the risk of dangerous collision. Some drivers consider it a gray area to text at a red light. They may feel comfortable picking up your phone and quickly responding to a text, even though it takes your hand off the wheel. But you can legally text at a red light? No. Depends on your state. In the pink here, if y'all can see that, it says most laws regarding texting and driving state that drivers cannot text while the car remains in motion. Some laws do allow drivers to text while stopped at a red light. Now, if your state says it's okay to text at a red light, does that mean it's safe? Maybe they just haven't passed the law yet. Maybe they just haven't had it presented to them, or hasn't gone through their legislature to change that law. Um, Mark says, I refuse to text and drive. The nerve of some people. Plus, you have a beer in your hand. Just kidding. Yes. Yeah, don't have that. Yes, and if you put your phone, Kiki, on do not disturb, it will let the other person know, or driving or any of the options that you have. It will let the other person know that you're not going to reply right away and you're not going to answer. You're not going to get that. Safety first. Yeah, toxicity. Um, why you should avoid texting at a red light. So he's saying when texting, the driver may not accurately track what's happening around them. It takes your attention away. I just said, what if there's a pedestrian? What if they are at the very end of the flashing light that lets them through, or they may not even have a crosswalk light, and they're late, getting through it. Or you have some people around here who jaywalk. I mean, they've got crosswalks here, 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 and they'll cross a 4-5 lane road away from a crosswalk. You just don't know. You got to be alert. Texting drivers may instinctively respond to movement around them. I just said that, didn't I? Mm-hmm. You see another car going and you start to go because you're distracted. Your peripheral vision makes you think it's time to go, and it may or may not be. And it takes time to return your focus to driving. It says drivers struggle to focus on the road when they shift from checking a text message to driving. For example, suppose you decide to answer a quick text while stopped at a red light. It may have taken only a few seconds to respond, but that text message remains on your mind. Ginger says to blame any omnipotent entity for not preventing all atrocities committed doesn't hold anyone accountable for their actions. Yes, I agree. If you're going to say that you were at an intersection and were breaking a law, or maybe it's not a law in her state, and that God is good because you didn't have that wreck that you could have had, then you can't go say that God is also allowing people to be killed in war right as we speak. Or that other person who got hit by a person who ran the red light, and they weren't even texting at the red light. They were following all the laws, and God let them get hit. I'm not saying God did. I'm just what ifs, and wow, he allowed them to get hit. I guess they weren't on their way to church. I'm not trying to be sacrilegious or anti-God or any of that. I'm saying what Ginger said, only she said it a lot better. Many people do not want to stop mid-text or communication when the light changes. You have just a few characters to go before you send your message. Surely you can safely finish your message, hit send, then return your attention to the road. Unfortunately, this process may not always go so smoothly. You may take your attention off the road for a few critical seconds when the unexpected happens. Many accidents can occur in the first seconds after the light changes. You may find that a car headed through the intersection before the light change stalled, and the driver could not get the vehicle through the intersection safely. A car could come flying through the other side of the intersection just as you started to proceed through it, resulting in a damaging collision. The car in front of you may brake suddenly, requiring a sudden stop and your full attention on the road to avoid a collision. And reminded me of not too long ago, I was in an intersection, a fairly busy intersection. It's not, it is, 4 ways of traffic and traffic lights all different ways and all that. And I hit my brakes as I was entering the intersection because a dog, I think, had fallen out of a vehicle, and I was freaking out. I was like, I've got to go help that dog. His mouth was bloody. I don't know what happened exactly. I just saw him. It's like all of a sudden right in the middle of this intersection with cars turning and going. And 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 the person behind me was, I think they honked or something, and I was just like, I don't care. But I could have easily gotten rear-ended. I don't know what the person behind me saw, but then I think everybody saw this dog, and this man got out and was helping the dog. Yes, bad things happen to good people. That's true. Hey, Reality Bites, good to see you. Hey, Bones, good to see you. You notice cops can't stay off their phones. Well, cops do some bad driving um as well. If you watch a lot of these, especially here in Arkansas, if you watch some of these videos of people running from cops. I watched a clip yesterday of one. A woman had her flashers on. There was a cop behind her, and I forgot what that maneuver's called, where they flip your car. They cause your car to flip over. And he walks over there to her and she says, "I'm pregnant." And he was like, "Why didn't you stop?" I don't know how that turned out. I mean, I think she was okay, but I don't know. Um so yeah, it was just crazy. And then you may not pull out at the right time when the light changes. I think we've talked about most of this stuff. Texting at a red light increases the odds you will receive a return text while on the road. There's that too, if you're texting back and forth. And then it's, do you bear liability if you're caught texting at a red light, if you're in an accident? And this guy's in Massachusetts, and he says they ban texting at red lights. So yes, you would there. But please look up the the laws in your state and or country or wherever you are. Mr. Finkelstein. And they have a way to look at your phone. They can get your phone, and they can find out, because there was a what's that like I said, I used to cover these cases a lot, and there's a way that they take exactly what time you were on your phone, what you were doing on your phone at that point. Like if you were trying to find a video to watch on YouTube. I've done that in my car before, and I used to be so good about this, and I haven't been. So this will get me back on track. Um, you just have to be careful. And the point being here is, people blaming, you know, saying that God saved them that minute. And again, you could have, because you did that. If you're saying that, you may have caused somebody behind you to end up in a wreck because of your pause. You might have got saved, but they might have not had, because, well, it's just physics, It's just, we're out here in this world, and we're not being controlled by anybody. God doesn't control us. Like, we have free will, just like Ginger said. And I don't know how all that, if anybody knew the answers to that, how God works in our lives, how we get, our lives get saved when the next person doesn't, or how a tornado flies through the air and knocks down every house but one on the block. I mean, you just, other than huffing and puffing and blowing the house down because your house wasn't as sturdy, it doesn't really matter in a tornado. Yeah, God is my co-pilot. And then there's ones that say dog is my co-pilot. Jesus saves Mark, or Jesus saves bumper sticker on car ashes. Crashes car. God works in every. Hey, Flame. Well, I don't see. That's what I'm saying is, Flame, is she was saying, you just got here. This girl was saying that she was texting at a stoplight, and she said God saved her life because she would have been in a wreck had she not been texting. But then, does that mean that the same thing happens? Well, okay, if you hadn't been texting, would you blame God for that? That kind of thing. Yeah, you'll have to go back and listen, Bones. Trying to figure out Instacart. So, yeah, I just found that stuff to be really interesting, and also how, and we may talk about this more because I've noticed this for years, and I talked about it the other day. I don't remember which live I was talking on, but how comment sections in on news stories and everything just there just becomes this big fight everywhere, and it's not just all of us on YouTube that argue and fight. It's just, I think, human nature. Kiki says, "I'm sorry, but if a cop tried to pull me over on a highway." Yes, I think that might be what this person was doing. She had apparently slowed down and she had her flashers on, and I guess I would be afraid too. And it looked like maybe it was under construction because they had those concrete barriers on the side. They don't have a lot of shoulder there. So I don't know. Kiki doesn't trust cops. Oh, you're sorry, Reality Bites. Oh, thank you, Ginger. Yeah, I want to make y'all think. And also, I hope this texting issue, I mean, you can thank me later. You can say, thank Barb, I didn't die that. Thank Barb, I listened to this and I didn't die. Things are slow at times. Yeah. So, I want you all to please, if you text and drive and you think it's okay, to please do some research if what we have shown today isn't enough, because really and truly, it is very, very dangerous. You need to be paying full attention. People are just saying, on there, oh, drivers have gotten worse and running red lights has gotten worse, and everybody gets away with it until they don't. And you don't want to be the person who's distracted and gets in a wreck and gets hurt. Like, it's not going to be a good thing if you get hurt. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you pain and heartache, and even it can cause you to die. So thanks, Bar. Oh, remember when Brad was here that time? That one time I went live at night, it was Brad. Oh, that wasn't very fun. Personally, I don't bother with any modern technology except laptops. Oh, cell phones are the devil. Yes, just stay vigilant, Reality Bites. That's true. Stay vigilant. And if you don't know your driving laws and you do these kinds of things, you might want to check into that. Could save you a couple $100. It could save you from being in a wreck and getting charged with distracted driving, or hurting somebody. So that's where we're at today, and I'm gonna go. My dogs now, they know my tone of voice and when I'm about to get off of here, and they were like wanting to go outside. So we're gonna get off of here, and y'all have a great day, and please be kind to yourself and take care of yourself. Just do things like don't text and drive. Please don't text and drive. And please think about what we talked about. Get the dog some food. Oh, they shouldn't be eating yet. They already had their supper this morning. Every meal they eat is called supper. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for being here and giving me a thumbs up and participating in chat. All of those things help my channel, and I'm grateful for each of you who has subscribed, helping me get to 12K over the weekend. That really made me happy, and when I'm happy, you're happy, right? Bye, y'all.